Hey everyone again. My name is Matthias. I'm from Holini, and today we are hosting the last workshop in the Google Ads Deep Dive series about ad customizers. And just a few really quick words about Holini and our background and experiences as well. Holini is a Google Ads and analytics agency specialized in working specifically with B2B tech companies. And this specialization really allows us to have all the B2B specific insights and strategies. And we have also worked with some quite cool companies due to that. We are also honored to be a Google Ads Premier partner and part of multiple other invite-only exclusive Google programs. But that's it about Holini, and let's go and jump straight into the topic of ad customizers. Briefly about today's plan. First of all, I will be doing a short introduction on ad customizers, what they are, how they work, and how they enable us to dynamically adjust ad text, and how and why it could even be useful, whether it will be useful for you. Then we will be covering the key benefits and use cases, and also we will explore Google's machine learning a little bit deeper and how customizers can actually support machine learning. Finally, and probably the most important part is the implementation part. We will be going over the implementation process inside the account, and you will see everything step by step. And finally, a conclusion, and you will be able to ask questions as well. So hopefully, sounds good. As an optional side note, feel free to open your Google Ads accounts as well. You will be able to follow along. If you would like, you can also do this after from the recording. Especially the second part of this workshop, we will go straight into the Google Ads UI and see the step-by-step process. So first of all, what are ad customizers? I would like to see in the chat how many of you have actually heard of them before. So if you have heard of ad customizers before this workshop, please say yes. Okay, I see a few yeses there. But how many of you have actually implemented them? If you have implemented them, say implemented. No? Anyone? So that is usually the case that we see. It is quite a rare sighting that somebody is actually using them. At the same time, they could be quite powerful. And it is a feature that usually people forget. And this is why we are today hosting this workshop. So what exactly are ad customizers? In essence, they are dynamic elements that automatically update parts of your ad text based on different certain conditions. It is kind of similar to keyword insertion, but it is much more flexible and it is more advanced. But basically, the main positive thing about ad customizers is that it helps you customize ad text dynamically and provide more relevance. So customizers make ads feel more personalized. Also, it allows us to do many different things that support Google's machine learning. In terms of customizers, we actually have three main versions of them. So in Google Ads, we have available text customizers, location customizers, and countdown customizers. In today's workshop, we will be mainly focusing on text customizers. In terms of the different customizer types, text customizers allow us to dynamically insert text into your ads based on the keyword, ad group, or campaign that you have defined. Location customizers are all about inserting specific locations to the ad. So these basically allow us to show the user's location inside the ad. And also countdown customizers, probably in business to business, the most rarely used. Here you can basically define a deadline and it will be starting a countdown inside of your ad towards that deadline. Mainly we will be covering text customizers, but we will briefly touch on location and countdown customizers towards the end of this workshop as well. So firstly, how does it actually work? Essentially, these customizers work in the way that you simply add a placeholder inside the text position in your ad. After this, you tell Google that this position, this customizer should be dynamically replaced with the value that I have given Google. You can see an example of this on the screen. So this is here customizer. If you want, you can add more text here, but this is basically the placeholder. It can look difficult at first, but in essence, this is just something that we give Google so Google would know that this is a placeholder and this value should be replaced with the value that we have given. Where can we use ad customizers? It is quite a flexible solution. So probably the most used and most potential it has in the headlines and description positions. But you can also use them in callouts, structured snippets, and paths. You cannot customize final URLs or site links, promotions, price assets, but most of the basic texts you can easily customize with ad customizers. Now, why would I do that actually? What are the actual benefits of ad customizers briefly? The main positive change that will likely happen in your account is that you will have improved ad relevance while supporting Google's machine learning. So in most cases, if you personalize your ads, you will have improved click-through rates, better engagement, and users are in general more likely to respond to ads that resonate with their needs. In terms of machine learning, Google's algorithms use ad group level data to optimize delivery and bidding strategies. However, if we want maximized relevance, usually we separate our ad groups very granularly. So we create multiple ad groups, each for very specific keywords. And in the end, we end up separating the data a bit too much. Unless we have unlimited budgets, which probably is not the case for most of you guys, sadly, then this will be often a problem because we will not have enough data. By providing more specific ad variations through customizers, we give Google machine learning systems richer data to work with. In general, this will lead to better performance, and at the same time, we won't be sacrificing any ad relevance. Now, the third point here, extremely interesting finding of us, you can actually bypass character limits with ad customizers. So in the headline position, for example, we have the 30 char limit, and I myself very often find myself crafting the perfect Google Ads headline, then I check the length and it's 31 or 32 characters. Very depressing. But with ad customizers, you can actually bypass that limit and display manually longer headlines. So extremely powerful if used in the right scenario. Finally, you can also do things like automating ad copy updates. You can basically create a Google Sheet, which is directly up to date with the state of your ad texts in the account. And when you change something in the sheet, it will be automatically updated in the account as well if you schedule the upload of the file. So those are the main 4 benefits that I would like to bring out. Now let's jump into text customizers and how they work. Firstly, a more real-life example about supporting ad relevance with ad customizers. Often, it is the case that users can search for the exact same thing, basically, in 2 different ways. So let's consider an example where I am a business-to-business payment processing software, and I would like to advertise my services. And I see that people are searching, for example, in the 2 following ways: business-to-business payment processing software and business payment processing tool. If I want maximized relevance, absolute maximized relevance, I usually want to mention the exact language format and the exact words that people are searching for. However, as I already mentioned before, this will lead to multiple ad groups. You will have to create different RSAs for that. Each RSA needs to learn, and we have limited impressions and limited search demand at the same time, which means that Google's machine learning likely will not really learn effectively. So this problem of data scarcity is something that we are really fighting in our accounts in day-to-day optimizations. And a little bit about why data scarcity matters and why it is important to give the optimal amount of data to Google, especially on that group level, is that our account structure is basically on multiple levels. We have Google white data level, account level, campaign level, ad group, keyword, and search term. On the account level, Google gathers data on overall account performance and user behavior across all campaigns. At the campaign and ad group levels, it assesses it based on the specific campaign or ad group behavior, how the users are behaving inside that campaign or ad group. And on the keyword and search term levels, it learns which queries drive the most clicks and conversions, basically, and how I should bid on them. Now, why it is important is that if we want maximized relevance, we are usually creating multiple ad groups and really separating the data. At the same time, Google now cannot learn that well. So the question to ask ourselves really often is there sufficient data in this situation that algorithms can make decisions and learn? And consolidating as much as possible usually helps with that. Some solutions, in order to keep the relevance while consolidating, is keyword insertion, but it is not very flexible. Ad customizers are definitely much more flexible, and you can do a lot of things with them. So let's come back to the example I printed out before. Let's say we have one ad group for business-to-business payment software, and another ad group is about corporate payment processing tool. We have the relevant keywords for each of those corresponding ad groups, we have a relevant RSA that is using likely wording similar to business payment software and here corporate payment processing. But we are at the moment lacking data in both of them because the search demand is not that high maybe, and our budgets are also limited. Now we can implement ad customizers or keyword insertion and actually create one consolidated ad group that is including all of these keywords and also all of these keywords. So at the same time, the messaging will stay very similar to what it was before. Basically, you can keep it the same. So if the user searches for a specific keyword, we show them this headline. If the user searches for a different keyword, we show them corporate payment processing tool. At the same time, we are in the consolidated ad group. So we have more data and more decisions for Google's algorithms to learn from a larger data set. It's basically the best of both worlds. An even more common case is when we have one ad group where we have thrown into a lot of different similar intent keywords. We have one generic headline or generic headlines that are somewhat relevant to the keywords, but are not extremely relevant, maybe, or not using the same wording. With keyword-specific message, we can easily show the most relevant messaging to the user based on his or her search term. So more data on the ad group level in the end leads to better bidding decisions. This is definitely something that we see. And in contrast, if we spread our data too thinly across multiple ad groups, each group lacks the volume needed for the algorithm. And in an e-commerce account, for example, this might not be such a problem, while in a business-to-business account, we have highly limited search volumes, and therefore consolidation is even more important. Also, when we can provide keyword-specific messages, we have likely higher engagement, which is definitely useful for us. Now, what you are probably thinking is, why not simply use keyword insertion where I can simply display the same keyword that the user query matched with? To be honest, we sometimes can, but ad customizers are a much more flexible solution. And in terms of keyword insertion, it inserts the exact keyword that as you have added it into the account, and often it's not that flexible, and often you really would benefit from very customized messaging that just includes the keyword. Also, in some languages, you cannot really use the keyword in all sorts of sentences, so you have to craft a sentence around the keyword, which in the end doesn't really work that well. With ad customizers, however, you can define any text you want based on the keyword. And this will allow you to display the best, most relevant message for each query. And if you do find it useful, sometimes maybe you do not even need to include the keyword inside the text, but you will still have a keyword-specific message in the headline or in search paths or in description. So we are approaching the walkthrough. First of all, a little bit about the process of how you could actually implement ad customizers in your account. Firstly, the first step is identifying which text elements in your account will benefit most from dynamic customizations. This is all about pinpointing the parts of your ads where you want to increase relevance and personalization. The main two questions that you could ask yourself is, are there currently in the account ad groups which basically have the same intent, but different RSAs for relevance. If you see such a setup in your account, ad customizers can help consolidate those ad groups into single flexible ad, which dynamically adapts based on the user's query, like we discussed. An even more common case likely is that you have an ad group that could benefit from keyword-based messaging. And in those ad groups, we're targeting multiple keywords with slight variations. Keyword-specific messaging can significantly boost ad relevance. And by identifying those opportunities in our account, we can basically see where we can add those placeholders, where it would be beneficial, and what would be our ad customizer strategy. A little bit about the structure of a customizer again. So first of all, our headline is just an example here. Headline position, you can see our customizer always starts with a curly bracket. And you can basically determine that customizer starts here and ends here. If you want, you can add more text as well. But curly bracket is what defines the customizer. And if you usually add the curly bracket inside the headline position, you already see options, a drop-down of what customizer you would like to add to the position. Then we have the type name. This is basically just about naming, and in most cases, you can just use customizer. This is what Google also recommends. But if you have large data sets, a large account, and you have different data sets, you can also name it anything you want. In this case, you just have to add this identity mark here. But most cases, just use it as customizer dots. Now, the most important part is the attribute. The attribute is basically a unique identifier for the element that you are customizing. In this example, this headline 1 represents the attribute. And you could also call it whatever you would prefer. Just keep in mind that it has to provide some clarity. And if you use the same attribute twice in one ad, then basically the value will show up twice as well. And you can use the same attribute across different ad groups and campaigns. It won't matter. You do not have to create unique attributes for each campaign or ad group. You can basically, if you're customizing headline position 1 always, then you can always use this headline 1, and you give Google specific data about the campaign and ad group where it should replace headline 1. And finally, this one is the default value. Default text is optional in an ad customizer. You do not have to add it. You can keep it just as customizer.headline1, but it is a good backup. So if the customizer data isn't available, you haven't uploaded it yet, or it is too long, for example, Google will display the default text instead. This will ensure that your ads will always keep running smoothly. And in this case, you can see we have added here Holini, B2B, Google Ads. So I can already go and implement it without ever uploading anything. And this will show as Holini, B2B, Google Ads always. Now, in terms of the setup process for the customizers, you should first define the attributes in the account and add the customizer placeholders to the text positions. So firstly, I will be now going into Google Ads UI. You can follow along and see how we define the attributes inside the account. So now you should be able to see my screen. We are in the generic Google Ads UI here, and on the left you can select tools, and you go down to business data. Always a bit slow when you have to show it. Let me quickly reload this. Yeah, we all love Google Ads speeds. Okay, so we go to tools, business data, and then we select add customizer attributes. And this is basically the location where we tell Google which attributes we are using in our headline positions. And we can simply add headline 1 here, for example, or I will just shorten it to H1. And here we have an option to choose the data type. In most cases, you are probably customizing the text, but if you're doing something specific, you can select it here. And we will click create, and that is basically it. Now we have just told that this here is a placeholder, and we are using this attribute in our ad customizers. Now, in terms of adding the actual placeholders to the text positions, I will show you this as well. Here I have a very similar example where I have added, basically, I have had 3 ad groups here, which are similar in intent, but I have now consolidated them into one ad group, Google Ads Services. All of these previously had their own unique keywords. Now I have pulled all of those keywords, put them into this one ad group. And now we will go into the ad of that ad group, and we can easily customize this. A moment. So let's go to the headline position 1. And here we have at the moment just a specific headline, but we can create now a customizer here. So we add the curly brackets, and here you can already see we have 4 options to choose from. You can either do keyword insertion, you can do a countdown customizer, location insertion customizer, or you can do this ad customizer that we are at the moment, that we want at the moment. And it adds this customizer already automatically. We select the attribute that we have just defined a minute ago. And now we can add the default text here. Let's say we want to do Google Ads for B2B tech. And we have now added it here. The customizer is added to that, and you can actually see the default value is already showing up in that. So that won't stop running or anything like that, although I haven't really given specific keyword specific values to the customizer yet. Now, the most important part is basically done. Let's see how do we actually upload the values. So this is probably the most important part. We have to set up a custom sheet or an Excel file where we tell Google what placeholder, what value we give to what placeholder, basically. And then we schedule or just upload it into the account. So how the file setup works is actually quite simple. I have created a custom Google Sheet here. And first, in the first column, we simply define the campaign name. So for me, it is Google Ads Ad Customizers, the draft campaign that I have created for this workshop. Here we basically tell that, oh, look at this campaign. There might be a customizer inside where you have to replace a value. Now we have the ad group. My consolidated ad group name is Google Ad Services. Oops. I'm not sure what is going on here. Give me a minute. My computer is acting. Yes, now. So my ad group is Google Ad Services, and here we define the keyword and the actual customizer value. So basically, Google goes into this campaign, and this ad group searches for the customizer placeholder that we have placed in headline position 1 at the moment. And now here we have defined the specific keyword-based messaging. So if inside that group we have certain keywords, we can add basically all of the keywords there. And for each keyword, we can craft a custom message. So Google now will search for this campaign, this ad group, and if a user matches with this keyword, we show this message on headline 1. And here again, you can add anything here. You do not have to mention Google Ads agency, whatever you would like to show for this keyword in this ad group. Again, here, this variant of customization we could also do with keyword insertion. So we could just add keyword insertion here, add business to business SaaS. But what you cannot do is that this headline actually is 32 characters, as you can see. So with keyword insertion, we couldn't actually do such a headline in the first place. With ad customizers, we easily can. So now I have crafted this upload file. This is just a sheet for Google to refer back to the placeholder values. And now we will go and upload this into the account. In terms of the upload process, this also happens under tools. You will just have to go under bulk actions and uploads. And here you simply press this plus icon and you select the source, which for me is Google Sheets. Here, what is important to keep in mind is that you definitely have to have shared this sheet with this email. So let me quickly check if I have done that. So yes, I have already done it. You can basically just drop this email here and click share. And in terms of what I am uploading, I'm uploading basically campaigns, campaign title. And now I am selecting the exact sheet here. I have selected the sheet that I want to upload from my Google Drive. And now we click apply. It will take usually 10 to 20 seconds. Sometimes with bigger files, I have also seen it take about 2 to 3 minutes. You can see the status here. And basically, once this is done, we will be able to see whether we successfully added the ad customizer values to our campaigns. So let's give it 20 seconds or so. Okay, So we can see the details here. As you can see, this resulted in some sort of an error. And this is because I have a mistake in the add customizer sheet file. Let me do that quickly again. So usually it is always useful to see from the details section whether everything was successful or not. And I actually have two files here. Give me a moment. Yes, now it should be fixed. So let's try it again. I am selecting the add customizer sheet. I am selecting the account, and let's upload it again. Now it should quite definitely work. And yes, it is always useful to take a look at the upload details. And afterwards, about in 10 to 15 minutes, it is also useful to see the actual RSA from the preview. So you go to add edit and see whether the add customizer value shows up. So here we can see 2 successful uploads, and we can actually see the details from here, view details. And you can see that for those keywords, Google Ads Agency in that campaign and this ad group, we are replacing the placeholder with this value, Google Ads Agency for B2B SaaS, successfully added. So everything is working as expected. Google now knows what those placeholders should be replaced with. And our ad customizers should be fully set up. So yeah, feel free to play around with this. I can also share this template with you if needed. But yeah, basically in terms of those columns, it's just campaign, ad group. If you want, you will have to add this keyword. If you do not want keyword specific customization, you can also delete this column. And here, what is important to keep in mind that we have this attribute value after the customizer. One thing to note here that might be a common mistake is that here we have to use the specific match case. So if our keyword in the account is exact or phrase match, for example, we have to add it as together with the match type here as well. Otherwise, if I do just PPC agency, for example, with broad match, this keyword will be added to my account as a duplicate. So I will get a bunch of new keywords to my account, which I likely do not want to do. Just a thing to keep in mind. And yeah, in terms of the customizer values, those will be showing up in the actual ad preview, usually in 10 to 15 minutes. But you sadly cannot see from the ad editor preview all of the values displayed that you have uploaded. So always useful if you can also test it from the Google's own ad preview tool and also in organic results on Google search. Now, a few more things that can be done with ad customizers. First of all, what might be useful for you to support user confidence is adding ad customizers to the search path of that. Also, we know that search path is something that really improves user confidence. So definitely always have them added, but if you can display the specific keyword there, user is definitely sure that he or she is also landing on the correct page. You can also have your ad copy in the sheet and schedule for upload for easy updates of messaging or offers. So sometimes maybe you want to design an advanced setup where you have basically all of your ad texts or any custom messaging in a sheet, and you can simply schedule it. And the schedules can be done basically from here under uploads, the same place, tools, uploads, and schedules. And you can create a new schedule here in a similar manner. And you can basically select whether you do it daily, weekly, multiple times during the day. Usually it is just useful. How I have done it is to make it update every night. So if I change something during the day, I know next day I will have the updated text in the account already. But what you can also do, and what is the main benefit of ad customizers, is that you can use the keyword of the search, but in a more complex language combination. So I already mentioned regarding keyword insertion that you have to use the exact format that you have added the keyword into the account as well. If you're using keyword insertion, but ad customizers, you do not have to be so strict, and you can use any kind of messaging that you can come up with, and in the end probably improve results significantly more. And finally, you can bypass the 30-character headline limit. You can easily try this yourself, but it is quite a nice thing to test out, especially in some competitive markets, or if you have an offering where you have a lot of competition. Definitely might be useful. Even the few characters or an extra word can really bring out your unique value proposition much more. And a little bit about this character limit. Yes, you can do it if you upload the longer value as an ad customizer, like I just have shown you. The longer value will be shown in the headline position. There is, of course, sadly, that Google doesn't display 90-character headlines, for example. The headlines likely have to still show up on only the first row. And we have really reliably seen up to 38 characters being displayed. In some cases, I have also seen longer ones, but 38 is quite extremely reliable. If it gets over 38, Google defaults to the default value that we have assigned inside the account. So the default value for us here is Google Ads for B2B tech. And if I upload a 45-character customizer on this position, likely Google will show Google Ads for B2B tech instead. Now, briefly about location customizers as well, as we are approaching the end. So location customizers allow you to dynamically insert the user's location to the ad text. This you can only use in headlines and descriptions. And I will quickly show you in the account as well how this works. So we again add the curly brackets and we select location insertion. And we can here choose whether we want to show the location of the user as a city, as a state, or as a country. So if I select the city, let me add like a default value as well. And here, basically, you can see that the user's location will be shown as a city. So if the user is or is regularly in that location, this location can show up. Keep in mind that in Google Ads Search, we have two different targeting versions. We can target either users who are regularly in or in that location, or we can target also users who are interested in that location. And keep in mind that if you have this interested enabled, then this location can show up also if the user is just interested in that location. In terms of countdown customizers, this works quite similarly. So we again add the curly bracket here. We can choose, and here we basically select the date and time when our offer, for example, is ending. So today it is the 7th of November. Let me choose, for example, that my offer is ending on Sunday at the end of the day. You can also select a custom time if you would like. Then you select how early you would like your countdown to start showing. So Sunday is already in 5 days, so it will basically start showing immediately. If I had the offer ending in a week, for example, I could set it up already today and it will show in 2 days. And I can also choose whether I want to use the account time zone that I have or add viewers time zone. And here it can now show up how it see from the preview 3 days. So you can basically say offer ends in 3 days. And this will be displayed here. Not sure why, but it is at the moment. Yes, so offer ends in 3 days. And if it's tomorrow, it will show 2 days here. That's simple. In terms of countdown customizers, there is one thing to remember. If you have pinned this headline with the countdown customizer to the first or second position, the ad stops serving after the timestamp is reached. So if you set it on Sunday end of the day and you have pinned the headline, then your ads will not be showing after Monday midnight, after Sunday midnight. So from Monday, basically, Google will not be showing it to you, showing it to users, and you will have to remember that, oh, I have this headline pinned. I shouldn't likely pin it, or I should remember to remove it immediately. That's pretty much it regarding ad customizers. Thank you for listening so far. A short summary. So ad customizers can be used for consolidating for better bidding decisions. We can improve ad relevance by providing very specific messaging based on the keyword. Also, we can do easy updates of ad texts if you want. You can customize almost any part of your responsive search ad. And you can create longer than 30 character headlines. So 30 to 38 characters, basically. And yeah, that's pretty much it from me for now. I am open to your questions. Please stop in the chat. And I also have a feedback form that I am now dropping in the chat as well. It will take about 30 seconds to fill out. Really appreciate your feedback so we could do those workshops even better. So how many customizers is okay to use per ad group? In terms of the number of customizers, there is no limit. You could basically use a customizer in every headline position. It depends what is useful for you. So in most cases, likely you will just want to customize the first 2 or 3 positions based on the keyword, and that's it. Yes, you can use a mix of ordinary headlines and customized ones. So if by a mix of ordinary headlines and customized ones, you mean that on position 1, 2, I have customized ones, and on all other positions, I have those ordinary headlines, you can totally do that, and you probably should do that. Also, you can just customize one headline, and you had the customizer, and you can add longer normal text after that customizer as well. And yeah, guys, appreciate your feedback. Thank you for being in this workshop. The recording will be available starting Monday, likely, and you will get it on your email as well. I will stay around for 1 or 2 minutes to answer any other questions. Have a great day.